You're listening to the 24K Life on Vibe 106.com, the home of R&B, old school, new school, Motown, hip-hop, 90s, 80s, and more. Simply the best music 24/7. We are in the study of the Vibe House where we talk real life, real money, and being your best self. I'm your host, Derick Gant, and every Sunday, I'm here to help you think bigger, work smarter, and become unstoppable. You know why? Because around here, we don't chase mediocrity. We dominate and walk in our divinity. This show is about living your 24K life, mastering your mind, money, body, and soul to live boldly and unapologetically at your highest level. Are you ready? Let's lock in.
Hey, happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful women out there that have birthed, struggled, raised, nurtured, and taken care of their kids. Hey, happy Mother's Day, sending you flowers, sending you love, all the things that you deserve. This is your host, Derick Gant, on Vibe 106.com, home of R&B, old school, new school, every school you need. We play the hits. Hey, I wanted to make sure that we have a special show today, and we are talking about the credit conundrum. The credit conundrum, it is a paradox on what the system wants from us, needs from us, and spits back at us based on our payments, our history, our loans to value. We're going to get into all of that and so much more this day because it is a special day, and we want to make sure that you are elevating your mental, your financial, your spiritual, and your physical life. Every day is a day you can choose to get better. So we are coming to you live from the 24K Live studio with your host, Derick Gant. Listen, if you want to participate in the show, hit us up, 419-972-1922, 419-972-1922. We want to do a shout out to Miss Sonia Allen. Hey, Sonia, thanks for calling in last week. We hope you got all the answers to your questions. We actually touched base with Sonia off air and made sure she got what she needed. If you have a question, if you have a conundrum, we're talking about the credit conundrum now. If you have a conundrum, just hit us up. We're happy to reach out and help. You can also catch this show on Derick Gant 24K on your YouTube channel. We have our own channel where we show this show. Just go ahead and click that, dial in, join the fun. We're ready to help you level up. That's the code. You know, today we're talking about the credit conundrum. We've been talking about money. We've been talking about debt, net worth, assets, liabilities. This is the 24K Life Show, where we help you level up your code so that you can do what you need to do, when you need to do, how you need to do it. What? All in the name, right? So today we're talking about you reframing your mindset on credit. I need you to understand that this is a game, and it's a game where they change the rules whenever they feel they're ready. Maybe when you're getting a little too close to a great score, to a great financial freedom, to more autonomy. Last week we talked about sovereignty, self-sovereignty, being in control of your house, your car, your family, your kingdom, your area, your job, being in control of your revenue. Self-sovereignty, also known as financial freedom or just freedom. We call it the 24K life. And we need you to tap into the code. We need you to tap into the desire, the philosophy to want to do your best so that you are controlling you. And today's conversation about credit is exactly on those lines, because credit is not about approval. Credit is about control. Who controls who? Because let's be honest, most consumers think, can I get approved for this house? Can I get approved for this car? Will they let me get this loan? You know, they think, I wonder what my score is. But the real conversation, I'm talking behind the scenes, pull back the curtain conversation, is, do you control your financial identity, or does the system control you? And when you think about financial identity, if you don't know what it is, all you really need to do is go to our website, DerickGant.com, DerickGant.com. That is Derick with one R, ICK.com/quiz. You can take the quiz and figure out what your financial identity is. Are you a saver? Are you a hoarder? Are you an investor? Are you a builder? Are you just struggling? Are you thriving? I mean, what is your financial identity? Because the truth of the matter is, most likely, you obtained your financial identity from your household growing up. I know you think, I'm a grown adult. What does me being a kid have anything to do with it? Well, it has everything, because our brains are not fully formed until we're like 12-ish. And I mean, really formed until you're 26-ish. But between that ages of 0 and 7 or 12, you're very formidable. Most of your beliefs are adopted then. Most of your thought processes are adopted then. That's when and where you get who you truly are. And until you understand that, take control of that, and then make a conscious decision if you agree or do you disagree, right? You weren't given a choice when you were a kid as to what church you went to or what you believed. They told you what you believed. And let me tell you something, in my household, it was really weird, okay? I grew up going to Pentecostal church. I mean, we're talking holy of holies, no fingernail polish, no pants, no movies. I mean, holy of holies, right? And I went to a Catholic school where they talked about other stuff, right? I mean, you know, they're allowed to smoke and drink. Not that it's good or bad. I'm just telling you, very confusing for a kid. So looking back and trying to decipher what you believe, you know, what you're indoctrinated with, what you were brainwashed with, And what were your parents brainwashed with? Now, I don't know about you, but mine were, they were following the system. There was no doubt about they were following the system. And so the system says, go to school, don't be creative, don't ask too many questions, be quiet, raise your hand, sit in the right seat, sit in the same seat. You're not really recognized until I recognize you. You're not really him or her until I say you're him or her. And the kids that spoke out, think about it. The kids that spoke out, regardless of the rules, those are our comedians today. Those are our entertainers today. Those are the people that were bold and fearless, even as a young kid, and they perfected it today. The most creative people broke the system's rules. Now, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying when we talk about your financial identity, when we speak on what you believe financially or where you are financially, you adopted that from somewhere else. Because trust and believe, you just paid attention because no one told you when it comes to finance, right? When it comes to right and wrong, I'm sure that they told you everything you needed to know. But when it comes to finances, it was not discussed in our household. Any of our households, and we're talking all of the households, not just black, not just Asian, not just white, all the households. Parents are too busy handling that business, paying those bills, getting up, going to work, trying to figure out how to feed you, how to get some sleep, how to get up and do it all again over and over because you keep growing out of your shoes, right? They didn't have time to teach you to prioritize. And then when you went to school, they didn't teach you because they don't want you to know anything about self-sovereignty. Because if you were self-sovereign, if you were financially free, you wouldn't go to work because you would have everything that you needed. And they need us to work. They need us. Listen to me. I'm going to do like church. I'm going to say it again. They need us 3 times for you to hear me. They need us to go to work. Because the more we work, the more we spend because they didn't teach us how not to. So we're going to talk about how to reframe your financial identity and how you can, number one, look at your credit score. How should you look at your credit score? And how do you reframe and make it yours versus what they give you? We'll be right back.
I'm sure you've heard the news. Financial freedom is within your reach, thanks to Derick Gant. With over 25 years of experience, Derick's 24K life philosophy transforms everyday challenges into stepping stones for success. Imagine mastering your finances, setting and crushing your goals, and shifting your mindset to elite levels. Derick empowers you with tools for financial freedom and measurable results. His strategies are crafted to ensure you live the life you've always dreamed of. From his book to engaging workshops and online content, Derick's insights are designed just for you. Start your journey today and turn your aspirations into achievements. Visit DerickGant.com. It's time to live your 24K life. Are you ready?
Hey, I hope you're ready. I'm ready to help you live your 24K life. The 24K life is all about you being independent, you understanding that you have a code of excellence, that you were called and coded inside of your DNA for greatness, right? You have greatness inside of you. It was put in you before you were ever thought of. And our job is to extract that code because that's what we need to understand to produce the greatness that was put in us. And each of us have it. Don't think that LeBron's the only one with greatness or Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson. Have you guys seen the Michael Jackson movie? We're talking straight fire. I loved it. Obviously, I'm going to caveat it by saying I'm always been a huge Michael Jackson fan, and introducing a whole new generation to his greatness is awesome, right? But when you see the movie, pay attention to his work ethic. Everybody looks at his greatness and his abilities and his singing and the dancing and all the amazing things, but look at the effort that he put in to extract out of his code his personal greatness and how he had to go above and beyond, how he had to challenge the industry, how he had to challenge his family to get where he got. That's what I want you to pull from that movie. Great movie. I give it 10 thumbs up. And if I had 20 more thumbs, I'd give it that too. But listen, know that you are also called and coded for greatness. All you have to do is tap in to where you are, who you are, and let's figure it out. So I mentioned the identity quiz. You can go to DerickGant.com/quiz to get the identity quiz. And it's going to tell you one of 5 things. You're a drifter, and a drifter has no system. They only react. They avoid money conversations. They just kind of come see, come saw, right? They're working, but man, they got no strategy. We're just out here doing what we do. And then number 2, maybe you're a survivor. The survivor handles them bills, but is stuck in a cycle, has no leverage, meaning no credit, right? They're just getting by. The third potential identity that you could have is a stabilizer. You're organized, but you're not building wealth. You're organized, you're paying your bills, you know where everything is, which is key, that is critical, but you're not building any wealth. You're just getting by. And then we have the builder. Now we're talking. That's being intentional about your money. That's being strategic with your money, being an amazingly good steward with your money. And you are ready to invest, and you're thinking long term. What am I going to do for my kids' college? What am I going to do for retirement? How can I position myself to get debt free, to elevate my net worth? That's the builder. And then finally, the operator. The operator has got it all in order. They're building wealth, and now they're ready to go to sovereignty. It is strategic, disciplined. You're converting income into assets, and assets are items that create more income. What? That's what you need. You need your money making you more money. That is the game. That's being an operator. So when you take the quiz, it's going to give you that. It's going to follow up with an email giving you more details about what you can do to level yourself up to the next level. And I'm going to tell you that to get to level 5, to become an operator, to be a real operator, only 10% of the population is doing that. Only 10% are being consistent in doing that. You know, I would suggest to you that the real problem is that people are masked. Your eyes are covered. They got blindfolds on you, right? You're saying, listen, buyers, let's say you want to buy a house. Buyers are not financially prepared. You don't know your credit score. You go on Credit Karma. We're going to talk about Credit Karma. You're going to go on Credit Karma. You're going to get your score, and you're going to say, I'm ready. But when you get to the bank, they look at a totally different score. They're looking at your FICO score. They're not looking at your regular consumer credit score. They're looking at a more detailed. Your credit profiles, unfortunately, are fragile. And of course, no fault of your own, but your debt to income ratios are out of whack. You know, you got to have the right debt to income ratios. And if you don't even know what that is, then you need to, but you also need to find out, because when you go to the bank and you got great credit, but you're over leveraged, maybe you got too many credit cards or too many medical bills or too many student loans, it's going to count against you, right? And you also want to know, hey, listen, I need to be strategic, not reactive. And going to the bank to get a loan for a home, for a car, for anything, and not knowing if you truly have met all the criteria. I'm not saying you'll get the loan if you have, but at least knowing what you need in order to meet that criteria. I mean, that's heavy stuff, right? That's what you need to be. That's what you need to know in order to really put yourself in a great position. Now, we're going to take a break, but we're going to break down the process of credit. And you're going to be surprised, I promise you, you're going to be surprised at how they calculate or what they tell you about your credit score, what they don't tell you about your credit score, and what you really need to know to be in more control about your credit and everything else that's going to help you figure out what you can do. I just want to make sure that you're being grateful, that you're being thankful, and that you know the best is yet to come.
There's a praise that lives deep in my heart, and it says, oh Lord, I love you. I am blessed when I think of your goodness to me. It comforts me daily, but there are times in my life when things don't work out right, eyes back on you, for you've always come through. And with this simple refrain, I will bless you, 'cause
Lord, you've been good to me. Made the way I could not see.
your love came in
and lifted me.
and
I won't complain.
yeah.
You've been there to dry my tears. There is not a closer friend than you.
Oh Lord, you have been so good to me, more than the world could ever be.
I really wanna
thank you, yeah.
Lord, I won't complain.
Lift my hands, give you praise in the midst of each storm.
'Cause you are worthy.
When life's sorrows and heartaches rush in, I will remember
You are still worthy.
Let the words of my mouth leave no room for doubt, because down through the years you've been faithful. And when I think it all through, oh Lord, it's been you who's been there all the time, and I'm grateful.
Lord, you've been good to me. Made the way I could not see. Your love came in and lifted me. And I won't complain.
Yeah.
Through the years, you've been there to dry my tears. There is not a closer friend than you.
Lord, I know that you know what's best for me, even when my weary eyes can't see.
I really wanna thank you.
I wanna thank you, yeah.
Lord, I won't complain.
I won't complain,
Let the
yeah.
words of my mouth
My
leave no room for doubt, because down
Hey, if you're not grateful, if you're not saying thank you, you got some problems. Hey, this is Derick Gant. I know that you're ready. I'm ready too. Let's get at it. So we're talking about the credit conundrum, and I am optimistic that you're going to get this and it's going to help you elevate your life. So let's dive into it and let's break down the most important components of credit so that you can begin to wrap your head around what you need to do to secure credit. Now, listen, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that all of us at some point in our lives are going to need some credit. Now, I believe with all my heart that you should buy what you need with cash. But we know that's not realistic. Not all the time. So you're going to need some credit to get that car, to get that house. Hey, but save up as much as you can. We can talk about that another day. But listen, if you want to reach out to the show, 419-972-1922. We can talk about it. So listen, there's 5 elements that you need to understand in order to understand your credit. The first thing I'm going to tell you is that there are basically 4 credit reporting agencies, or there's 3 credit reporting agencies, but there's 2 types of credit. So we're going to talk about the agencies first. You got TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. They all report your credit score, but they do not tell you how they calculate your score. I'm going to give you some measure of about how it's done, but they don't tell us. So no one really knows. They keep it a secret, which is why this game is a fix. It's a fix. But I'm gonna go on and say, listen, the first thing that you want to know is that one of the biggest things on your credit report is your payment history. Have you been paying on time? So you know, and I know that we listen to the message of robbing Peter to pay Paul, because that's what our parents did. Remember I talked to you about your financial identity? That's what our parents did. So I know you're doing it too. We got to get out of that mindset. We got to get into the mindset that we want to be able to pay our bills up front and one time. I mean, wouldn't it be love, even if you had to pay your bills early, even if you could pay them a little early, wouldn't it be love to say, hey, first of the month, I'm gonna pay all my bills, and then if I need to adjust because they were a little lower or a little higher, I'll adjust on them, later in the month. But I don't have to worry about bills. Or, I know, you know what? I'm not even gonna tell you the other strategy that really, really works, because most people, if they did it, they would mess it up. But if you want to know the ultimate method, I'm telling you clearly, I'm the money guy. I've been doing this for over 35 years. If you want to know the ultimate way to pay your bills, I'm going to share it with you one-on-one. So hit me up, hit the show up, 419-972-1922. I promise you, I won't charge you a dime to tell you what it is, but I'm going to tell you what it is. I don't want to tell everybody because 90% of you are going to mess it up, especially without some detailed support. You're going to mess it up. I've seen it happen time and time again. So hit up the show, 419-972-1922. Say, hey, I want the inside scoop on how I could be paying my bills once a month so that I can focus on making more money. I can focus on my nutrition, my health, my mindset, my relationships. I'm not thinking about money 24/7 because I know my bills are paid. So we'll talk about that. We'll get there. I promise you, we'll get there. We're going to talk about it. But for right now, credit history probably is a minimum of 30% of your credit score. So you got to pay your stuff on time, right? And when we look at your credit score, I want you to, and you talk about paying your bills on time, I want you to understand that so many of you use your tax refunds to pay off your car, right? You got that little bit left on your car and you use it to pay off your car. Sounds like it's a great idea. Not if you don't have good credit, because a home and a car, those payments are the 2 fastest ways to boost your credit, faster than anything else, right? Faster than paying your medical bills, faster than paying your other bills. So trust and believe, I'd rather see you have the money to pay off your car, but pay it monthly to get that credit score up, than you to use the money to pay off your car and have a crappy credit score. So you got no car payment and you got no bills as far as the car is concerned, but you got crappy credit. Now you don't have any way to build it. Now, at the same token, I'm not suggesting you run out and get a car if you don't have a car payment. I'm not suggesting that. But we can talk about details when it's time to talk about details one-on-one. So the second thing is your utilization rate. Utilization rate. How much of your credit are you using? If you have a $5,000 limit on your credit card and it's maxed out, that is 100% utilization. And that is considered a bad thing if you don't pay the card off in full by the end of the month. So you have 5,000 credit, you're using 5,000. Do you pay it off at the end of the 30 days or not? If you don't, you're at a 100% credit utilization rate. Where they want you is well under 30%. They want you under 50%, but under 30%. Under 30% is the sweet spot. So let's do the math. If you have a $10,000 credit card, okay, and you owe $3,000, you technically at a 30% utilization rate. If you owe $5,000, you're at a 50% utilization rate, and so on. So you need to get under there. If you don't, they penalize you. Here's the logic. They say in their calculator's mind, well, if Mr. Smith has a $10,000 limit and he owes $6,000, he must be struggling. He must need the card to make his life work, to meet his obligations, and he's putting the credit card user or provider at risk because he needs it. And if he needs it, next month is going to be $7,000. And the next month is going to be $7,500, so on and so forth. So they're looking at it like, yeah, this is not a good bet. This person is getting in danger. But if you use the card and you have that $6,000 and you pay $3,000, now you're at 30%. They will boost your score a little bit, or at least keep it neutral, because they're like, oh, this person has the ability to pay. He or she doesn't need the card to live, to eat, to make life happen. They're good. They just use this for some extras. Maybe they put a vacation on the card and they need a few months to pay it off. So we're not worried about that. But the best, of course, is that if you pay it off at the end of every 30 days. Number one, you have no interest rate accruing on that, meaning that they're not able to charge you interest if you pay it off before the interest is billed. Right? They're still getting their fees, because this is the trick that you don't really realize. Every time you swipe your credit card, somebody's getting paid. The merchant's taking a little cut. The provider of the card is taking a little cut. And so they may not charge you that extra money, but they're charging the merchant a little extra money. So the merchant marks up his or her product, so that they cover the charge card company cost, because they're gonna charge you some money. Have you ever wondered why a lot of places say we don't take American Express? Have you ever wondered why? Well, I'm going to tell you the reason why. You probably can figure it out after what I just shared with you. They charge more money than Visa and MasterCard. So Visa and MasterCard charges 2.25%. American Express is charging 3.7% for that transaction. And most merchants, or the people that you're buying goods and services from, they can't afford to mark up their products that much without it being noticeable, without being overpriced, not being competitive. So they go, you know what? We just don't accept American Express. It's the same reason why stores say there's a minimum transaction fee if you're going to use a debit card. Now that's going to go away. It's going to go away because they want digital currency. They don't want you pulling out any paper in the future. So what they're going to do is they're going to make it easier and easier for you to use your debit card and your credit cards. I don't even carry cash that much anymore. I don't even carry a wallet anymore. All of my cards are loaded onto my phone, and I tap to pay. I tap to pay for my gasoline, I tap to pay for my groceries. I tap to pay. I just load the money. I don't even need the cards, to be honest, for 90% of the transactions that I make. So let's go back. We have payment history. We have utilization rates. The next thing is length of history. How long have you had credit? So that catch-22 for your college graduates, they just graduated. They don't have any credit history. They didn't have any bills. They didn't have any debts. So they have a very poor credit score because they have no credit. So that's going to be the length of history. If you want to know, and I just did a shout out a couple shows ago about college grads. If you want to know how to preempt this problem, how to help your graduating youngsters. Now we're talking not talking high school, we're talking college. Now I guess you can do it for high school too, but mostly college. If you want to understand how to help them, then reach out to us, 419-972-1922, or you can put the question in the chat. You can say, how do I help my college grad? Or just type in graduate, and we will schedule a time to give you a guide on how to help your college grad leave college with some credit. Some really unique things that you can do that are safe, as long as the kids got some sense, that are safe and that works. I guarantee you, I did it with both my kids. So that is the third thing, length of history, and we want to create a length of history with your kids. And then, of course, is your actual credit mix. Who do you owe? What percentage is credit cards? What percent are medical bills? What percent is a mortgage loan, a house loan, a car loan? So what is the credit mix of what they've loaned you money on? So here's the deal. If you have too much credit card debt, it's not pretty, it's not good. If you have homeowner debt, that's a lot better, especially if your payment history is aligning. So we have payment history, utilization rate, length of history of your credit, the actual credit miss, and the last one are inquiries. How many people are hitting your credit card to see if you qualify? So have you noticed when you go car shopping that every time you go and they pull your credit, the next person that pulls your credit, your score's down 10 points? I mean, literally it's 10 points. It's stupid. It's 10 points. So every time you do what they call a hard pull, that means that somebody is serious about getting this loan and they want to know the details. A hard pull is giving details about your credit report. It's going to drop your score. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. It makes no sense whatsoever, but it does. Just know it does. However, there is such a thing as a soft pull. So when you go look for a car, you need to tell them, either you need to take your score on paper and say, hey, here it is, don't pull mine until I actually decide I want to get the loan. Or they can do what they call a soft pull. Now, a soft pull is just going to give them a generic view of what your score is. So it might tell them the score, and it might tell them the total amount of debt, but it doesn't break down the actual details of your credit report. So a soft pull doesn't count against you. You need to know this when you're going out there. You know, if you do a credit card, they're going to do a soft pull originally when they send you that you've been pre-approved type stuff, or a hard pull when you actually fill out the application and say, I want a card and I need to fill out this application. So at that particular point, that's called a hard pull, your score is going to drop 10 points. Now, it won't stay down there. As soon as you give a little room for it to catch back up, to level back out, and you stop making credit inquiries, it'll go back up. You just want to give it a chance to come back to life before you do that. So that is actual 5 real drivers of credit. Understand that it's not knowledge, it's not income, it's your financial behavior.
Most people think their money problems are about income. They're wrong. Every day people work hard, earn well yet trapped by fear, by habits, by self-sabotage. Introducing Derick Gant, financial advisor, stroke survivor, and author of the 24K Life Code. And Derick didn't survive what he survived by accident. His life wasn't spared so he could sell tips. He was commissioned to help people break free from confusion, free from shame, free from systems that keep them busy but never whole. That's why he created the 24K Life Code, a personal and financial operating system that aligns your mind, money, body, and soul. So wealth stops owning you and starts serving you. This isn't hustle culture. This isn't prosperity hype. This is order, discipline, stewardship. If you know you were made for more, but something keeps pulling you back, it's time to break the cycle. Answer the call. Live your 24K life. 24klife.org.
Dreamed of you this morning, then came the dawn, and I thought you were here with me. If you could only see how much I love you, that's all, baby.
Dream about with the homies steaming out. Back and the beam is out. Seems as our plans to get a grant to go off to college then pan or even out. We need it now, we need a town, we need a place to pitch, we need a mound. Now I'm just a lazy boy, daydreaming in my lazy boy. In the clouds of smoke and playing this Marvin. Mama forgive me, should be thinking about Harvard. That's too far away, niggas are starving. Not wrong, ain't just gotta change the target. I got dreams of back to Snitto, the size of pillows. I see pies every time my eyes little. I see rides, sixes, I gotta get those. Life's a bitch, I hope it not make a overdose. American dream, man. Just American dream, man. American dream, man. I see the lights right there, and it seems right there, and it's not quite near, and it's not like we're professionals, moving the decimals, know where the cop now, gotta connect, no. Who in the F knows how to be successful? Need a person of Jesus. I'm in Depeche mode. You say it's celestial. It's all in stars. It's like Tony DeRusso. How you play guitar? You ain't fucking with me. The irony's off. At all costs, better avoid these bars. Now let's start. On your mark. You said let's go. Get out the car. Go in circles. It's a vicious cycle. This is a crash course. This ain't high school. Wake up monthly. You're dreaming again. You're a reality show. The season begins. American dream, man. This is American dream, man. American dream, man. Step one in this process, scramble up in your projects and head to the heights with big hope. This process, you gotta convince him that you're not from the precinct. Please speak slow, cause he don't speak no English. If he takes a light and after a couple of trips and your money is straight, he's gonna give you consignment. Now in the game, where only time can tell. Survive the droughts, I wish you well. Survive the droughts, I wish you well. How sick am I wish you health. I wish you wheels, I wish you wealth. I wish you insight so you can see for yourself. You can see the sign when the jackets are scheming and the cops is coming. You can read their mind, you can see from behind. You can read the fine. The game as we know it, one dream at a time. I'm American dreaming. American dreaming. American dreaming.
Okay, this is Derick Gant, your host, the 24K Life Show on Vibe 106 DKG&x.com, coming to you live on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all those beautiful, blessed mothers out there. I pray that you are being well honored and taken care of. This is your day. I hope you got your flowers. If not, I'm sending you your flowers. Hit up the show, 419-972-1922. Happy Mother's Day. So we're talking about the credit conundrum. And it is a conundrum because the holders of the secret, will not tell us exactly the formula of how they calculate our credit score. I just shared with you there's 5 real drivers of credit. There's your payment history, your utilization rate, length of history, credit mix, and of course, inquiries, which absolutely makes no sense. But that's neither here nor there. It's not my game. I am here to put you on game, to help you figure out how you can manifest a better life, a 24K life, and use credit to do it. Last week, we talked about debt elimination. The week before that, we talked about the difference between assets and liabilities. And the week before that, we talked about how to put your graduates on point. Now, I've offered you to understand by hitting us up, 419-972-1922, how to hit us up if you want our graduate guide on credit, how your youngster can graduate with a better credit score, even if they're getting ready to graduate and they don't have credit. You know, we can't get them an instant score, but I can give you the same insights, and within 12 to 24 months, it will help immensely following our strategies. But let's not get it twisted. Let's continue on because there are some other key components to credit that you need to know about. Number 1, don't be an emotional buyer, right? Don't be an emotional buyer. What I mean by that is that people get excited because they're like, oh, I was pre-approved for this car. So you go out and you spend an ungodly amount of money on your first car because they gave you the credit. Just because they give you the credit or you're approved for that amount doesn't mean you should spend it. That's not what it means at all. What it really means is that you need a budget. You need to understand where you are in the cycle, how much you can truly afford, and go from there. Don't get caught. Don't get caught because they will try to catch you, right? It happens more so with houses than anything. They'll say, listen, you've been approved for $400,000 house, but your budget says we can only afford a $250,000 house. And you go out and stretch and you get that $325,000 house. And now you are what we call house poor. The next thing is, don't be a short-term thinker, right? You know how we are. You know how the system is. And I hate to blame someone else because ultimately we have to take radical ownership for the decisions that we make and the positions that we put ourselves in because of choices that we make. But they don't make it easy. They throw it in your face, your neighbors, your neighbors, your friends, your family. They're throwing it in your face and you're going, man, I should be able to do that too. And so you go out there and you do it. But that's short-term thinking. It's emotional and it's short-term. Short-term thinkers are not playing the long game. They're going, I want it. We live in an impulse society, so you go get it. Just because you can get it doesn't mean you can keep it. I'm telling you from experience, just because you can get it doesn't mean you can keep it. Just start to take a look at the statistics financially in our own country. 85% of people cannot handle replacing their car tires. They can't handle it. They don't have the money. They don't have the cash. Let's be honest. The 85% don't have $1,000 anywhere. Okay? They don't. They're going to have to get a payday loan. They're going to have to put it on a credit card. They're going to have to borrow it. They're going to have to beg. They're going to have to use it on their next paycheck, which is going to mess up their next bills. And then that starts a spiral of financial destruction. So don't think about your lifestyle now. Let's think about our lifestyle for the future. What about future me? What are you doing for future me? The decisions you're making today to help yourself tomorrow. And I'm not here saying you shouldn't have any fun. I'm not here saying that you shouldn't do anything that is enjoyment today. I'm simply saying Let's play the long game. Let's not get stuck in impulse buying. Let's think about this. Hey, I really want this, but man, I should probably save up to go on vacation. I'm a big believer. I think I should probably save up. I'm going to put it on a credit card, but I want to pay that credit card off in 30 days. That means you got the cash. So, you want a house now, you want a car now, you want the lifestyle now. And that is all part of the strategy to keep you down and broke. Is that what you really want? Credit punishes impatience. You got to play the game and you got to be patient playing it along the way. So what should you consider? You should take a look at your resources. You should also take a look at what your needs might possibly be. You should be able to predict, man, this car is going to go to the car graveyard in the next 2 or 3 years, right? Maybe I should start positioning myself to save. The car's paid off. Maybe I should start putting money away for the next car. Maybe you don't have enough for the full payment, but you have enough for lesser of a monthly payment because you're putting a bigger down payment on. Get into your system and understand your financial numbers, because if you don't, you will never get ahead. So let's talk about getting ahead. The best thing that you can do is get some partners, right? You need some partners. You need to know someone who's in the car business. If you're going to get a car, you should know someone that's in the car business. We have friends of the show, Mr. Vince McCarver. We have several friends of the show that are in the car industry. And anytime our listeners have a question about leasing, about buying, about down payments, we hook them up with our auto partners. But you should have one. You should be able to ask some questions. Even if you met someone and you weren't ready to buy and you say, hey, I just want to know what the deal is so that when I am ready to buy, I am properly positioned for greatness. Because that's what you need to be. Who else do you need on your partnership? You need a banker. I told you last week, people go to the bank, they go through the drive-through, they never get out of their car, their banker doesn't know them, they don't know their banker, and if you needed a loan, they don't know you from a box of crayons. You need to be able to go in there and have a relationship. I like credit unions more than banks because they make decisions more locally, maybe regionally. They're not the big banks that are only looking for profits. So maybe you should have a credit union account. Maybe you should have a credit union account and a traditional bank account. We have already talked about budgeting and allocating your dollars properly. That doesn't stop with just that. That's just one step. You need to know your banker. Let them know who you are. You're a good person. You're responsible. You're reliable. You're good-hearted. You're loving. You're conscientious, right? Ask them great questions about their family. Remember their kids' names. You want to learn how to play the money game? This is how you play. I went into the bank, and I own a business, so I went to the bank more often because of our companies and our cash flow. But every time I went to the bank, I went into the bank. Every teller knows me. Every manager knows me. Every lending officer knows me. Even if it's to the tune of, hey, how are you today? Oh, I'm sorry, I don't think we met. What's your name? Oh, what's your position here? Oh, that's awesome. So if I ever need a credit card, I can come to you. Oh, if I ever need investments, I can ask you. Yeah, and they all are just so excited. Yes, here's my card. You can come in. Even if you not ready, come in early. That's what you should be doing. When you want to buy a house, you should be getting pre-approved. You should be in there talking to them. Hey, in the next 3 years, let me tell you a quick story. So when I was a youngster, man, those were the days, right? I was in my early 20s at my second job. And the owner of the financial firm that I work for, we were talking. He says, hey, are you going to buy a house? I said, absolutely. He goes, when do you plan on it? I said, probably in the next 24 months. So he said, well, let me introduce you to a banker. And what you need to do is you need to get to know this guy, this gal. You need to get to know the bank, and you need to tell them what you want to do. And then you ask them their advice on how to best be prepared for when the time comes when you want to get the loan. I said, absolutely. That sounds logical to me. That's exactly what I did. And guess what happened when I wanted to get the loan? I went in there. I said, hey, did everything you told me to do. I had been going into the branch, for the last 18 to 24 months. So when it came time for me to get my loan and I said, I've done everything you told me to do, what do you think they're thinking? Oh, they did what I said. I know what I'm talking about. I'm really smart. Let me take a look at this loan package and let me make sure it gets approved. And then they take you under their wing and you get the loan, right? A lot less stress. Now, again, that was 40 years ago. So I know times have changed. They're not quite 40, 35, 36 years ago. I know times have changed and it's not that simple anymore. But man, the principle still rings true. The more people know you, people want to do business with people they know, people they like, and most importantly, people they trust. That is the sales rule. That is the sales rule. So when we talk about those partners and you talk about that, you want to ask them, well, what score do you use? Okay. And I'm going to put you on game real quick before the show ends. They use a FICO score. You won't ever be able to pull that unless you pay extra for it. But here's the deal. Even when they pull that, they're going to pull 3 scores from all 3 agencies. They're going to throw out the lowest score. They're just going to toss it. They're also going to toss the biggest score. And they are going to use the middle score to underwrite your loan request. So when you look at your credit, and you say, oh, I got a 680 on this one, a 640 on this one, and a 632 on the other one, they're going with the 640. They're not taking the 632 or the 680. And 640 is not enough. 680 is enough. 640 is not enough to get you a premium loan. You're going to have to go subprime. Now, if you want to know what subprime is, just hit the show up, 419-972-1922. I'm happy to tell you about all that, but let's not get into it right now. I want you to know that when you go to Credit Karma, that is not 100% of what your score looks like. That is just the consumer version of what your score looks like. So I want you to know that there is no weapon formed against you that's going to prosper if you do your work. If you put on your chest plate of armor, if you go in prepared, if you have knowledge behind you, if you've done your homework, there is no weapon formed against you that will prosper. I promise you.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Say no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Say no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. God will do what He said He will do. He will stand by His word, and He will come through. Yeah, God will do what He said He will do. He will stand by His word.
This is Derick Gant, the 24K Live Show on Vibe106.com. Happy Mother's Day. Don't let any weapon stand against you. Have a blessed day. Be your best. Bring your best. Leave nothing to chance.